Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of One Week in Poland, the information service of IMI Radio dedicated to the main news of the previous 7 days happened in Poland. My name is Fabio Turco. I'm a journalist. And in the first part of the broadcast, we'll find out what's going on in the country, what are the most remarkable news, while in the second part of the show, will be dedicated specifically to Warsaw news and events related to the capital city. It's Saturday, April 20. It's 4 past 1 p.m. Sorry for the delay today. So I think we can start. The first news of the last 7 days, one of the most remarkable, it's that in the past few days have seen a series of arrests of Polish nationals accused of carrying out espionage and sabotage activities on behalf of Russian intelligence services. On Thursday, Poland announced the detention of a Polish citizen accused to be involved in a plan to assassinate the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during a visit to the country. The man allegedly revealed to Russian services sensitive information about security measures at Rzeszów-Jasionka airport, where the attack was to take place. In another case, 2 men have been detained on suspicion of carrying out an attack on Russian opposition figure Leonid Volkov, an associate of the Russian oppositionist Alexei Navalny, in neighboring Lithuania last month, in the mid of March. Volkov had been attacked inside his car with a hammer, resulting in serious injuries. The suspects are facing charges of acting on behalf of a foreign country's security services. Can say almost 100% for the Russian security services. News of their arrest was announced on Friday morning by Lithuania's President Gitanas Nausėda. He thanked his Polish counterpart Andrzej Duda, as well as the 2 countries' law enforcement agencies. Volkov himself also thanked Poland and Lithuania for the work they had done in identifying the suspects. However, he added that it was also important to investigate and to expose all the chain of command from Putin to the guy with the hammer who attacked him. According to the sources, the 2 Polish men were part of the ultras football scene, while a 3rd man of Belarusian nationality was arrested on charges of being the mastermind of the operation. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk released on the social platform X a very harsh comment about these 2 cases. He said, "There will be no clemency for collaborators of the Russian services. We will burn with an iron every betrayal and attempt at destabilization." The detention was made as a result of a coordinated investigation by Ukrainian and Polish authorities, and is only, so in this case, for the attempt for the trial of attack to Mr. Zelensky, and is only the latest in a series of arrests of people suspected of carrying out espionage or sabotage actions on Polish territory. This escalation of arrest and foiled operation has been assessed by Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski as an escalation of Russia's hybrid war against Poland. And then we switch to the next news. Probably you remember that 2 weeks ago it was election day in Poland on Sunday, April 7. Well, tomorrow actually, on Sunday, the Poles will head to the ballot box to vote in the second round of local government election on Sunday. So in the first turn, all the municipalities where the candidate didn't reach at least the 50% of the votes, in that cases, there will be the second turn. Ballots to choose mayors and other local leaders will be held in 748 cities and municipalities nationwide. In the first round, the opposition conservative Law and Justice Party won the most votes in election to Poland's regional assemblies, according to electoral officials. Meanwhile, mayoral races in some cities, including Poznan in the west and Wrocław in the south west, went to runoffs after no candidate received more than 50% of the votes. And there will be also Kraków in the south of the country. Polling stations will be open at 7 a.m. and will close at 9 p.m. A media blackout came into force yesterday at midnight, so in the midnight between Friday and Saturday, under which domestic news providers are forbidden by law from publishing opinion polls showing the level of support for candidates in the elections. So we can't say anything about the surveys. We can only tell to the people to go to vote, because this is a civic right for every citizen. The next news, it's about the visit of the Polish president of Republic, Andrzej Duda, who began his week-long visit to the United States and Canada in the middle of the week. On a late night of Wednesday, he has held a private meeting with the US presidential candidate Donald Trump at the latter's residence in New York, at the Trump Tower. The Polish president's office confirmed that the meeting took place as Europe prepares the possibility of the Republicans' return to the White House. There was quite a discussion in Poland about the opportunity of the Polish president, Mr. Duda, to visit Donald Trump. But we are in the electoral election in US, and it was considered as the last month Duda visit Mr. Joe Biden. It was considered legitimate to visit also Mr. Donald Trump. The Duda and Trump discussed about the war in Ukraine and about the conflict between Israel and Hamas, and Duda's recent proposal for NATO countries to spend 3% of GDP on defense. This is a statement from the Trump campaign. President Mr. Trump is a big fan of Poland and of the Polish people. Donald Trump said alongside with Duda, we had 4 great years together. We may have to do it again. We agree on so much. We are behind Poland all the way. I know Poland feels the same way. As you probably will remember, Donald Trump was American president between 2016 and 2020. In the 4 years in the same time, also Mr. Andrzej Duda was, and he is the president of Poland. It was a friendly meeting in a very nice atmosphere, said Duda after the 2.5 hour dinner with Donald Trump. Asked about whether the visit could harm Poland's relations with President Joe Biden, Duda denied this, saying that it is normal when a country has good relations with another country, that it wants this relation to be the best with representatives of various sides of the political scene. Ahead of the meeting, U.S. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller likewise said that it is normal for foreign government to engage with the nominees of major parties, just as American diplomats and American leaders often engage with a foreign opposition leader. Indeed, the past year it was the electoral year here in Poland, and Mr. Joe Biden did the same, visiting Mr. Donald Tusk, that at the time was the leader of the opposition. During Trump's term in office, he formed a close relationship with Duda. So, and Duda, we recall that will end his position as president in 2025. So next year, a few months after Trump would or could return office. So let's see the next year what will be the situation, who will be the president both in Poland and both in the United States. And now we change to another news because yesterday, April 19, at noon, the Warsaw Sirens sounded to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the start of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which broke out on April 19, 1943 and lasted until May 16. This is anonymously considered one of the pivotal episodes in the city's recent history in which Jewish fighters took up arms against Poland's German invaders. It was the first uprising in German Nazi-occupied Europe and the largest act of armed resistance by Jews in World War II. It is estimated that about 13,000 insurgents died in the ghetto during the revolt, which ended the month later. The Warsaw Ghetto, established in April 1940, was the largest of the many ghettos which the Germans set up across Poland to isolate the Jewish population after invading the country in September 1939. Some surviving Jewish combatants later fought in the Warsaw Uprising, launched by Poland's underground home army on August 1st, 1944. If you were out and yesterday, you probably came across several people who had pinned paper daffodils on their jackets, and you probably met many people handing them out. The annual daffodil campaign is associated with noted ghetto fighter Marek Edelman, who before his death in 2009 placed daffodils at the monument to the ghetto heroes in Warsaw each year on the anniversary of the uprising. The flowers are a poignant echo of the yellow stars that Jews were made to wear during the Nazi German occupation. And now we switch to something cultural. Officials on Thursday opened the Polish National Pavilion at the 60th International Art Exhibition in Venice, combining the ceremony with the unveiling of a Polish-Ukrainian video installation that offers an insight into the human impact of the war in Ukraine. The installation is the centerpiece of a poignant exhibition inside the Polish pavilion and titled Repeat After Me. Polish, so it was said by the Polish state news agency PAP. Poland's culture minister Bartłomiej Sienkiewicz said during the opening ceremony that while art may not bring peace or prevent war, it does evoke emotions that prevent us from being indifferent. Reflecting on the proximity of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict to Poland, Sienkiewicz added this conflict is happening right next to us, and it has been shown us what really matters in life: human solidarity and compassion. He urged also the audience to never be indifferent, echoing the exhibition title. An introduction to the exhibition explains that Repeat After Me too portrays war as a collective experience independent of age, origin, professional and social status, giving voice to witnesses and highlighting individual endurance of the catastrophe. The exhibition also features video works from 2022 and 2024, focusing on the lives of Ukrainian refugees. The film employs a karaoke-style format through not with music, but rather with sounds of warfare, gunshots and explosions, narrated by the refugees themselves. This auditory experience is part of an interactive element where visitors can repeat these sounds, so this is why the name of the exhibition, enhancing their understanding of the refugees' traumatic experience. The curator, Marta Czej, expressed pride in showcasing Ukrainian artists. She highlighted that this event allows the voices of those affected by the war to reach a global audience. Ukrainian artists in the pavilion thanked Poland for its solidarity, emphasizing the importance of knowing they are not alone in their struggle. The organizers explained the first video was filmed in a camp for internally displaced persons near Lviv. The second work was made outside of Ukraine, in locations that are safe for the participants. However, even beyond the reach of the marathon of alarm sirens, the sounds of war remain a part of their trauma and symbolically expand the boundaries of its reach. Audiences can listen, among others, to the recollection of Boris from Mariupol, who says, "I hid my children and the neighbor's children in the basement of a private building. Once, when bombing stopped, my little daughter ran out into the yard, clenched her tiny fist and began to shout, 'Go away, war! Go away, war!' That was the most terrifying sound I heard during the war." And this was the last news of the first part of 1 Week in Poland, the part dedicated to the general news about the country. Now we have a small break with a song, and then we start with the second part dedicated to the end croaks. This was Kazimierz, so this is something in a theme with the anniversary of the uprising of the ghetto, the anniversary of the uprising of the ghetto. And this is also something related to the news, which opens the second part of 1 Week in Poland, the part of the broadcast dedicated to Warsaw, to some news and events of the capital city. So the first news, the first event I want to speak about today is an exhibition that opened on Wednesday at the Museum of Warsaw in the city's old town district. And his title is Testimonies from the Warsaw Ghetto. The exhibition documents the period from the beginning of the German occupation of Poland in September 1939 and the establishment of the Jewish ghetto in the Polish capital in the spring of 1940 to the commemoration on for the 5th anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising in 1948. The display includes artifacts recovered during post-war archaeological digs at the site of the former ghetto, such as pieces of kitchen utensils, cutlery, and buttons, as well as a selection of photographs made by both ghetto inhabitants and German soldiers. From the website of the Museum of Warsaw, this is the descriptions of the exhibition, which is an exposition. This exposition is an attempt at showing the unimaginable. It covers the period from the beginning of the German occupation and the delineation of the area at risk of typhus in Warsaw in spring 1940 to the commemoration of the 5th anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. The daily life of the ghetto is presented from various perspectives, soldiers and members of the resistance movement, women and men, amateurs and professionals. Not only do their photographs tell a universal story about the war, but they also allow for contact with wartime reality from different points of view and a look at post-war Warsaw. Objects recovered during archaeological digs belonging to people from the pre-war northern quarter are material vestiges of the life of a community that had inhabited the northern part of Warsaw for nearly 200 years. The exposition concludes with a film, which also serves as the only source of light in the exhibition. The document, recorded by a group of survivors right after the war, shows the void left of the ghetto turned into a rubble desert after the entire Jewish community had been annihilated. The void that has grown to become a symbol of their Holocaust. Visitors to the exhibition can also watch extensive fragments of the documentary My, którzy przeżyliśmy, so we survived, distributed abroad under the title The Jewish People Live, made in 1947 by Nathan Gross. The film chronicles various aspects of the life of Polish Jews after World War II. Testimonies from the Warsaw Ghetto is set to become a part of the Museum of Warsaw Core exhibition. The curator Anna Dunczyk-Schulz told the media that the museum wants to fill a gap in its documentation of the city's history in this way, and she recalled that Jews accounted for some 30% of Warsaw pre-war population. So the Jewish heritage for the city is very important. I suggest to you to go to the museum and watch the exhibition. And now we switch to the musical advices for the weekend. We have a few today at Club Progressia, starting at 8. Club Progressia is addressed at Fort Vola 22. There will be the concert of one of the most famous, probably, artists in the last years here in Poland. He is Vito Bambino with his tour Love to the Max. Vito Bambino is a German-Polish actor, singer, songwriter, composer, and a music producer, and the vocalist of the band Vitamina. For the one of you who don't know Vito Bambino, he was born in Poland, grew up in Germany as a member of the Polish community, and he holds dual Polish-German citizenship. Musically, he has collaborated with artists such as David Poshadło, Daria Zawiałow, Henvi, Jan Rapp, Kaszka Sochacka, Kubi Producent, and others. As he states in the interviews, he dates the beginning of his musical journey to 2003. He gained popularity with the song Home, performed with the band Vitamina. He also performed as a solo singer, and on September 24 to 2020, he released his debut album entitled Waiting Room. So nowadays, he's embarking in a new tour, presenting the new songs. This tour, the spring tour, will cover 7 Polish cities, and it will be held in Warsaw, of course, but also in Poznan, Gdańsk, Rzeszów, Wrocław, and Katowice. April 2023 saw the release of the Vitamina band leader's second solo album for the Def Jam Recordings Polska. The album Pracownia was heralded by, among others, the single Etna, which already has nearly 7 million plays on Spotify, and the music video has been viewed nearly 5 million times. So fans will be able to listen to material from the album live during a spring tour from the album Pracownia. So don't miss the chance to go to the concert of Vito Bambino. Another proposal, another advice for today is the concert at Club Spatif in Aleje Ujazdowskie 45, starting at 8 p.m. The concert of Polski Piach, who present the premiere album Anomalia. So Polski Piach is a Polish trio, and this is the third album of the band. after the album South and North, thematically referring to both the time of day and night and the geographic direction, the band has recorded this fully acoustic album, raw but brighter than the previous one. The songs incorporated in Anomalia are narrative, even cinematic. They flow. This is the presentation on rytme.pl. The Polski Piach trio consists of Piotr Mełech playing bass clarinet, Piotr Domegalski playing the basset, and Patryk Zakrocki acoustic guitar. The album was recorded by The 100 in Piotr Zabrowski analog studio. And if you want to go to the concert and listen their last work, the tickets cost 50-60 zloty at Club Spatif. And at the end, so the last advice for this weekend for the lovers of clubbing, I suggest Harley on the Rooftop, the events held at level 27, the club in Aleje Jerozolimskie 123A, starting at 11 p.m. today. So this is the presentation, dear guests. Are you ready for an unforgettable performance on the rooftop? We invited British singer Harley, who always used music as a way to be heard. Harley surrounds herself with a tight-knit circles of collaboration, including fellow songwriter Rob Harvey and producer Lewis Thompson. On Spotify, 161 million people have listened to Lonely Song, and it went to number 4 in the chart. So this is worth of mention. The artist's next single, Reset, marks a symbolic moment and the start of a new musical chapter. Propelled by infectious piano stabs to recall 90s club music, Harley writes it as an exploration of rebuilding. Future releases, meanwhile, will show all of the facets of Harley, from the gifted hitmaker that melts heartbreak with euphoric escapism to the powerful vocalist penning raw and affected ballads. Get ready for a live performance of Harley on the Rooftop. So what to say more after this presentation? Well, so I can only suggest go there and enjoy, hang out, have a really, really good weekend. This was the last advice for this week. I want to thank you for staying with us in IMI Radio. Please stay with us because the programming of IMI Radio continues in half an hour at 2 p.m. There is shooting backstage with Natalia, and after at 3 p.m. Radio Czechenia, so the first broadcast in Poland in Czechenian language. So we have a Ramówka, I will say, very full of auditions, very full of broadcasts that deserves to be listened. Stay with us. I want to say thank you again. Thank you to Michał for the technical assistance, and we meet in 7 days for another episode of 1 Week in Poland. Bye bye.